Good afternoon. I am here in BGC and I am joined by Evan from The Savvy Expat. He has a YouTube channel dedicated to life in the Philippines. And today we're going to talk about what makes BGC such a good place for expats to come and stay. So let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So I really like what Evan's doing on his channel. You were definitely a really good source of information when I was looking to get my tourist visa done. And that's how I came across your channel. And then you commented on one of my videos and that's how we got in contact.
Right.
So can we start off by having you just kind of tell me a little bit about yourself, like where you're from, all of that?
Of course. So like I said, my name is Evan, also known as The Savvy Expat on YouTube. I was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois for the first 16 years of my life. Moved here to the Philippines 4 years ago, 2019. And when I moved here, I originally just started documenting, vlogging my experiences as a Filipino American that has grown up in the US but is Filipino. And I just found that a natural audience that was attracted to my channel was expats because they can relate to my experiences.
Yeah.
So thus was born The Savvy Expat, grew the channel, started talking about life in BGC, dialed down on that. And now we have a community of over 36,000 American expats and counting.
Very nice, very nice. Okay, well guys, we're gonna start walking here towards High Street and we'll just have a nice casual conversation. So what makes BGC a really good place for expats? What is special about BGC? Because I think a lot of people from my channel are interested in coming to BGC, but if you could just explain to people what's so special about this place.
Of course. Well, I'll tell you, Zane, there's a lot of beauties about the Philippines, but I think the biggest misconception about this country is that you come here and everyone thinks it's either poverty or just jungles in the middle of no man's land. But then you come to BGC and it's like, wow, it's like the West.
Yeah,
but
it's very nice here.
It's nice. And what I always say is that living in BGC, it's like you get the convenience of the West, but the charms of Southeast Asia.
Yeah,
with the people here.
It's so true. It's clean. You have everything you need here. All of your Western conveniences. Apartments are really nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. So I'd say three main things that makes BGC a very unique city in Southeast Asia. Well, number one is the convenience. When you walk around in BGC, it's very pedestrian friendly. Everything is within 15 minutes walking distance. And you have international shops, retail stores from around the globe, restaurants, or any cuisine that you'd like. So convenience is one thing. Anything that you need is within BGC, and you wouldn't have to leave to access anything else other than beaches of the Philippines to get access to these things. Second thing is cleanliness. I think cleanliness in BGC is unparalleled to any other place in Metro Manila. The roads here, very wide. You don't just see trash lying around everywhere, so cleanliness is one thing. And another thing is also the demographic. The demographic of the people here is mostly young working professionals or expats. So what we find is a very safe community to live in. You can raise a family here and you wouldn't have to worry about like going out with your family middle of the night, walking around. So there's a safety aspect to that as well. Okay,
yeah, we got his guy on the bike here making noise. Yeah, this is an extremely safe place. This is definitely a place where, like, as I've been thinking about where would I make a base in Asia, it would absolutely be BGC. And also I would like to say that Evan and I are going to be shooting a podcast for his channel. So I'll make sure to put a link in the description below so you can check out our podcast together. You can learn more about me and why I'm here and how I got here and everything. So very excited to be doing this collaboration with Evan. But I think what we're gonna do now is we're gonna walk down to High Street a little bit and we'll continue this interview. All right guys, so Evan and I just walked down to High Street here and you can see beautiful High Street on Thursday. And you've probably seen it in my other videos, but this is one of the areas in BGC that really allows you to see like how developed this area is and why people like to come here. So, Evan, what inspired you to create the Savvy Expat? Like what inspired you to make this channel?
Honestly, BGC. I started vlogging about BGC 3 years ago when there was very few, like I'd say, vloggers in the space showing the city. And I'm like, this place is such a, okay, diamond in the rough is a bad term to use, but it's a diamond. And I'm like, this is the ideal place to have a home base in Southeast Asia. I gotta make content about it, and I gotta show like how nice it is to live in the city.
Yeah.
Fell in love with living here. The cost of living, I believe, is actually great in my opinion, comparing it to Chicago, of course.
Of course.
And
yep.
it's a beautiful city. So BGC is one thing, and then another thing is just helping to guide other balikbayans and expats like myself to life in the Philippines.
So you are Filipino. You're a Phil-Am.
Phil-Am.
So you will always be an American, but you always also be a Filipino.
No, yeah, I'm still a American citizen.
Okay.
Yeah, so like on paper American, experience American, by blood full Filipino.
Okay, by blood Filipino.
Yes.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is something that I don't know much about, but it's good to hear. And so that is called a
Balikbayan.
Balikbayan.
I don't
okay.
know if I'd be considered a balikbayan because I was born and raised in the US.
Okay.
Balikbayan is typically classified as somebody who born in the Philippines, grew up or has lived somewhere abroad and then comes back to the country.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Very cool. All right. So, what are some other places in Manila that are similar to BGC that might be good for expats?
I think the closest place is Makati. Makati City is very close. So if you go to like the Greenbelt area, very clean, open streets, westernized. Makati is a lot older than BGC, and I'd say that BGC is the most, I guess, modern city in the Philippines. But that's the closest city to BGC.
Okay, and Makati's a central business district.
Yes.
And prices similar to
Prices
here?
are around similar. I think rent in BGC for the amount of square meters you get is more expensive in the city,
Okay.
BGC. But yeah, for the most part, prices are similar.
Okay, cool. And any like hidden gems like Ortigas or Rockwell, which I know is like over there?
Yeah, Rockwell's in Makati. I think hidden gems. Not that it's hidden, but Clark Global City.
Okay.
That's coming up soon. But Clark is a very, I don't think it's talked about much.
Yeah, no, I haven't even heard of Clark Global City.
It is. Yeah, it is like walking around the U.S. like the U.S. charms, but it's still the Philippines.
Okay.
So that's nice. And Ortigas, great city as well.
Yeah, I like my
another,
time there.
Yeah, it's another business district in the Philippines.
Okay, cool. So then the follow-up question to this I had, which is, what is the best area for expats that want to come to Manila? What would be the best area? I think you've already answered the question,
Yeah.
but what would be the best area?
I'd say hands down BGC.
Okay.
Because whether it be just wanting to get your toes wet in the Philippines, having a home base, I think BGC is the best place because let's be real, as expats, sometimes we have certain requirements like I need strong Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
or
absolutely.
you know, I want to live in a place where, you know, the nearest convenience stores are just, you know, nearby my place, nearby where you're living. So living in BGC is like ultimate convenience at its finest. And then if you want to go out to the province, only 45 minutes away, only a 1 hour flight out.
Yeah.
You know, in Manila, the international airport here is only like 20 minutes away
Very
from
close.
BGC, very close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that answer. Now, how easy would it be for somebody to set up shop and create a base here in BGC? Like, how easy would that be for somebody to come here and expatriate here? Yeah, if you could talk maybe about visa stuff or like how
Sure.
easy it would be to go do that.
Sure. So I think the process of settling down here for me was quite smooth. Like, keep in mind, guys, I'm still an American citizen on paper. So similar to your experience, if you're moving here from the U.S., extending the tourist visa, we just have SMORA within the city, so you can extend a tourist visa at one of the malls here. Very seamless. But transitioning here, it really depends on if you have to sell stuff in the U.S., what you're bringing to the Philippines. If you're in the same situation as me and my family, where we sold everything in the U.S. and we just traveled our bags lightly to the Philippines, it was very smooth, very easy. And in my audience, I know countless guys that have moved here to BGC. It took them about a month of packing their stuff up, came here, bought their load, and got their condo. They're settled.
Yeah, and like in terms of finding a condo, I know you do some. You are somebody who could be a good resource, right, on people who would like to find condos here.
Yeah.
And could there be any like potential issues or pitfalls that an expat might run into when they are looking for a condo?
I think one of the pitfalls I commonly find with expats finding a condo in the Philippines is, and we've experienced this too as well, is sometimes realtors are not the most responsive.
Yeah.
So there's times where you schedule an appointment to view a property, say it's at 1 p.m., but then they cancel the night before, or they say, oh, the property's already been sold, or it's already been occupied. So things like this, I think it's communication aspect of how realtors will communicate with you is one issue that you'll find. In my experience, I booked an appointment to look at specifically a 3-bedroom in Surrendra here in BGC, and then they showed me like 3 other different properties, and it wasn't the one that I booked for, that I wanted to see. So, you know, these little issues like that.
Yeah, I personally have also had some issues with a condo in trying to find a condo myself. I will make a video on that, or I don't know if it'll come out before or after this, but I'll give you guys an update on that. So yeah, there can be some things, but legally it's completely fine to have a lease here.
Yeah, totally legal, totally fine.
Yeah. And the visa situation, I think you touched on that a little bit. It's pretty seamless, especially if your nationality is American. If you're a U.S. citizen,
Absolutely.
pretty seamless.
Absolutely.
And there are a bunch of visa options.
Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. You can come here as an American for 30 days visa free, and then you can extend your visa by 2, 3, and 6 month durations, and it's actually quite easy to do that. So yeah.
Cool. All right. So another question I have, and I think a lot of people in my audience, people who are watching, will be interested in hearing this. What would your biggest piece of advice be for people who are looking to move to BGC and set up shop here, make it their base?
I think one of the biggest things is just dialing down on where you want to rent, so your lease terms, and getting in contact with realtors here, because once you have that settled, everything else in BGC is very easy to get, you know, settled down in. Just finding the right place to stay. So whether you want to do Airbnb, which will be pricey, or you want to find like a 6-month lease, a 1-year lease in a condo, and finding the right location within the city is what you're going to want to, you know, do research on. You could choose High Street here, which is a little bit more pricey because it's the heart of BGC. You could go to Uptown, which is a beautiful area, or you could go to like a little outside BGC like McKinley, where it's more affordable, but you're further from like the heart of the city. So dialing down on where you want to stay, finding a realtor or a broker, and then everything else is a walk in the park, I'd say.
Okay, great. That's very helpful. Okay, so that was a very good answer on why BGC would be a really good place to set up shop, and like how easy it would be to come here, and gave really good advice on that. Now, I have another question for you, which is, what are some of the advantages of being in the Philippines versus being in a place like America or the UK or another place in the world? What makes the Philippines special?
Well, I can say in my personal experience, safety is one of the biggest things.
Yeah.
Now, of course, it depends on where in the Philippines you're staying, but if we're talking BGC, safety here, I feel a lot safer living in BGC, of course, than living in Chicago and California, and any major city of the US, at least in the current state that it's in. So the safety is one of the major things, because I could walk around BGC in 2 in the morning, 4 in the morning, or late at night, and I feel completely safe.
Yeah.
So safety is one major thing, and I think another thing I could say on my part is peace of mind. I don't watch the US news at all when I'm here, and politics-wise, we won't get into it, but I don't pay attention to Philippine politics, and I don't. In the U.S., of course, you know, there's a lot of divisiveness at the moment. So that's one of the major things: is peace of mind, safety, and community. I love that the Filipino people are we are the most hospitable people that I've ever come across. So people are so kind, willing to strike up a conversation, and social life here is not something you have to be concerned about.
Yeah, I've had the same experience with safety here in the Philippines, but also just in most of Asia, actually all of Asia. It's an extremely safe place to be and to set up shop, and definitely in BGC, I can absolutely agree with Evan on that, where you have virtually no safety concerns here at all. So yeah, another good answer. Yeah, looks like they have the iPhone 15 experience. It looks like it's a launch event or something like that. So interesting. We're gonna continue this interview here down the street. Okay, guys. So here's the famous, whatever you want to call it, board here. Screen. Yes, screen here in High Street. And Evan is now going to talk to us about cost of living. So yeah, so tell us a bit about cost of living and how much it might cost for somebody to be here. Like, is it cheaper than America? All of that sort of thing.
So cost of living, and I've interviewed maybe over more than I can count on my fingers expats that have lived in the US, California, and then also in BGC. And I'd say cost of living in BGC is a lot more affordable than the major cities of the US, at least. Not in, you know, the middle of North Dakota or something, South Dakota, but of course in the major cities of the US it's more affordable here in BGC. So roughly around, like, if you're a single person, $1,500 to $2,000 per month. If you're not partying, whatnot, not drinking so much, then that budget is enough to live in BGC, with rent included. Other than that, for me, like rent, we spend about $1,000 per month on rent. Food expenses, nothing out of the ordinary, for $200 to $400 per month, even if you were to eat out. And in regards to electricity, utilities, that's around $100 to $200 a month. And entertainment, that all depends on your lifestyle.
Okay, and like, so how much would, like, to rent a 1-bedroom apartment, how much would something like that cost in BGC on like ballpark average?
Ballpark average, I'd say it starts at $700 per month, and then it can range up to $1,200 per month if you want it furnished, balcony, good location. So
okay, nice. And like, about how big are these units?
These units, I'd say, I haven't gotten used to square meters so much yet, but like, I'd say maybe roughly around 400 to 500 square feet.
Okay. Yeah. Actually, not a bad size for Philippines.
Asia. Yeah, for Asia.
Yeah. I think this gives a nice overview of the costs. And let's walk down here a little bit and see what's going on here at BGC High Street here on a Thursday. Sorry about the noise, guys. There was a lot going on there, but you guys can see. Let me tell you, if this is let me ask you, if this is your first time on my channel, is this a place that you would live? Also, does this look like the Philippines to you guys? Is this what you have in mind when you think Philippines? Because I know when I came to BGC, I was not expecting this to be so Western, so modern, and yeah, I think High Street is a good example of everything that Evan's been talking about here today. All right, guys, well, Evan and I are going to have some burgers here at Pink's, which, first time trying this, looks like a really good burger. And thank you so much for being here, guys. Hope you found this video to be informative. Check out Evan's channel, it'll be linked in the description below. Also check out the interview or the podcast that I do with Evan on his channel. I think you'll find it really informative. Thank you so much, and I'll most certainly be talking to you again soon. Peace.
See you guys.